Hello students, I welcome you all to today's session. I hope all of you are doing perfect at your places. Today's topic is habitat of the living. Learning objectives, characteristics of living beings, adaptation in organisms, habitats for organisms and different habitats. So living beings survive in the most places, not only in hot deserts but also in polar regions. The surroundings where an organism lives is referred to as habitat, and every habitat is home for a certain living being. The habitat includes both living and non-living components. There is a constant interaction between these two components. The life of an organism is affected by both of these components, and everything surrounding and affecting an organism forms its environment. तो ह्यूमन बींग्स आपको हर जगह दिखाई देंगे, सूखी जगह पे, गीली से गीली जगह पे, ठंडी जगह पे, डिफरेंट रीजन्स, हर जगह आपको ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट कम ही सही लेकिन दिखाई जरूर देगी. सो दिस इंटरैक्शन या जहाँ पे आपके ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट या किसी भी टाइप के बींग्स देखे जाते हैं इन द नेचुरल एनवायरमेंट इज नोन एज देयर हैबिtat. Now characteristics of living beings. There are many things around us, some of them are living and some are not living. Living organisms are those that grow, move and reproduce their kind of organisms. All living organisms show some common characteristics. तो आसपास आपको living, non-living components दिखाई देते हैं. Living beings consume food, अलग-अलग movements आपको show करते हैं, and then all living organisms have certain common, similar characteristics. For example, living beings need food. We all need energy to perform various activities. We get this energy from the food we take. Animals need food to get energy for the various activities they perform. Plants also need food. They make their food in carbon dioxide in the air and water in the presence of sunlight by the process called photosynthesis. Animals depend on plants for their food. अब हर living organism को खाना चाहिए survive करने के लिए. खाना नहीं मिलेगा तो energy नहीं मिलेगी, energy नहीं मिलेगी तो रह नहीं पाएंगे. Human beings plants पे dependent होते हैं. Plants अपना खाना खुद ही बना लेते हैं, but all living organisms need food. Then living beings grow. All living beings are made of many very small units called cells, and cells are called the building blocks of life. Over time, many of these cells multiply in most living beings, which causes them to grow. Growth refers to an increase in size of an organism. A small plant grows into a tree in a few years' time, or a puppy grows into a dog. These are the examples of growth. All living organisms or beings grow on their own in their size, and animals and humans grow up to a certain age, whereas plants keep on growing. अब जितने भी living organisms होते हैं सब grow करते हैं. Plants भी grow करते हैं. Plants आपके throughout their lifetime हमेशा grow करते रहते हैं, irrespective of their age. But humans or animals, they grow up to a certain age, और उसके बाद उनकी growth physically at least रुक जाती है. Then living beings respire. For doing activities, all living beings need energy. This energy comes from food. The food taken by a living organism combines with oxygen inside its body to produce energy. Living organisms take in oxygen from the air during breathing. Carbon dioxide and water vapor produced during respiration are breathed out. Animals like cows, buffaloes, cats or dogs breathe like human beings. Animals which live in water, such as fish, breathe in oxygen dissolved in water. A fish uses its gill for breathing. When in water, a frog breathes in through its skin, while on the land, a frog breathes through its lungs. So the process of producing energy from the food due to its reaction with oxygen is called respiration. Breathing is just a part of respiration. अब अलग-अलग animals, अलग-अलग organisms breathe differently. For example, frog आपका होता है. Frog आपका एक amphibian है, land पे भी रह लेता है, water में भी रह लेता है. Water में जब होता है तो moist skin से ऑक्सीजन जो वाटर में डिसॉल्व होता है उससे ब्रीद इन करके ऑक्सीजन लेता है. जैसे ही लैंड पे आ जाता है लंग्स से ब्रीद करता है. ह्यूमन बींग्स और बहुत सारे एनिमल्स, फॉर एग्जांपल डॉग्स, बफेलोज, काउज, कैट्स, ये लंग्स के थ्रू ब्रीद करती हैं, वाइल फिशेज ब्रीद इन एंड टेक इन द डिसॉल्व्ड ऑक्सीजन फ्रॉम द वाटर थ्रू देयर गिल्स. नाउ रेस्पिरेशन इज एंटायरली अ केमिकल प्रोसेस जहां पे आपके ऑक्सीजन की वजह से आपका फूड ब्रेक डाउन होता है, एंड ब्रीदिंग इज जस्ट अ पार्ट ऑफ रेस्पिरेशन. Plants also respire through small pores on the undersurface of the leaves called the stomata. They need oxygen to break down their food. However, plants consume less amount of oxygen and in return produce more quantity of oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. This oxygen is released into the environment for the use of other organisms. तो plants भी oxygen को absorb करते हैं, but जितना absorb नहीं करते हैं उससे ज़्यादा वो environment में give away कर देते हैं. Thus, plants and animals show a unique interdependence. They need the need for oxygen by animals is supplied by the plants, and the carbon dioxide given out by animals during respiration is used by plants to prepare for food. So, this is the unique interdependence जो आपको environment में plants और अलग अलग ऑर्गेनिजम्स के बीच में दिखता है. जैसे ही जो रेस्पिरेशन का प्रोसेस होता है या ब्रीदिंग का प्रोसेस होता है, CO2 आपका बाय प्रोडक्ट की तरह एक्सेल हो जाता है, वो आपका एनवायरनमेंट में चला जाता है, वो आपके प्लांट्स कंज्यूम करते हैं. प्लांट्स फोटोसिंथेसिस के प्रोसेस में एज अ बाय प्रोडक्ट ऑक्सीजन को गिव अवे कर देते हैं, वो इन टर्न ह्यूमन बींग्स और बाकी सारे ऑर्गेनिजम्स यूज करते हैं. सो दिस इज द इंटरडिपेंडेंस बिटवीन योर एनिमल्स, ऑर्गेनिजम्स एंड प्लांट्स. Now there is a factopedia. Plants produce their food only during the day, whereas they respire throughout the day and night. तो प्लांट्स अपना खाना सिर्फ दिन के टाइम पे ही बनाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि फोटोसिंथेसिस आपका दिन में ही हो पाता है. फोटोसिंथेसिस में फोटो का मतलब लाइट होता है, जो लाइट उनको सन से मिलती है. तो लाइट आपको दिन में ही मिलेगी, तो फोटोसिंथेसिस आपका दिन में ही हो पाता है. ऑल्दो रेस्पिरेशन ये थ्रू आउट करते हैं. The living beings excrete body waste. All living beings take food. During digestion and respiration, some waste products are produced inside the body. These waste products are thrown out of the body in the form of urine, sweat, exhaled air and fecal matter. The process by which an organism throws out the waste products produced inside the body is called the excretion. तो human beings भी urination की process में sweating, पसीना निकलता है आपको, waste product आपका बाहर की तरफ निकलता है. All these are your waste products. और body से ये जो बाहर निकलता है, this entire process is known as excretion. Plants excrete water vapor and carbon dioxide through small pores in their leaves. Plants also excrete some waste materials produced in their body in the form of secretions. For example, rubber plant excretes latex, a white, sticky, thick liquid. Latex is the source of natural rubber, and trees like acacia secrete a browny, sticky substance called the gum. तो ये जो कुछ आपकी चीज़ें हम forest produce जिसे कहते हैं, जो आपको अलग अलग forest से मिलती हैं, plants से मिलती हैं, जैसे latex हो गया, gum हो गया, raisins हो गए, ये सारी चीज़ें हमारे लिए useful होती हैं, but actually में plants का ये waste product होता है. Now, living beings respond to stimuli. Living organisms can feel. As a result, all living organisms respond to stimuli such as temperature, touch, light, sound, smell, etc. तो living beings आसपास की चीज़ों को देखकर respond करते हैं, जिसे बोलते हैं respond to stimuli, your environment. All living organisms respond to stimuli in some way or the other. If someone happens to touch a hot object, he or she immediately withdraws his hand. Here, higher temperature of the hot object is stimulus, and the quick withdrawal of his or her hand is the response. Some organisms such as earthworm, cockroach, etc. move away from light. Animals become active on seeing the food. Here, food is the stimulus and the behavior of the animals is its response. Similarly, the increased secretion of saliva on seeing the favorite food is the response of the flavor of the food. A bright flash of the light makes one wink or close his or her eyes. Here, light is the stimulus, and plants also respond to stimuli. For example, the leaves of the plant touch me not, droop on touching them. तो अलग अलग टाइप के beings जो होते हैं, they also respond to the stimulus. Stimuli का मतलब आपके environment में sudden changes आ जाते हैं. For example, बहुत गर्म ऑब्जेक्ट है, आपको पता नहीं है कि वो गर्म है, सडनली आप हाथ लगाते हो, हाथ लगाते ही अपना हाथ विड्रॉ कर लेते हो, तो आपको यहाँ पे क्या होता है, दिस इज योर रिस्पॉन्ड टू योर स्टिमुलाई. सिमिलरली अलग अलग ऑर्गेनिजम्स रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं. Then comes an activity to show movement of plants or stems towards light. Take a potted plant and keep it in a room near window from where sunlight is available during the day. Water the plant for a few days. Observe what happens. You will observe that the plant starts bending in the direction of the sunlight. अब एक potted plant लीजिए, ऐसी जगह पे रखिए घर पे जहाँ पे विंडो से प्रॉपर सनलाइट आ रही है. थोड़े दिनों में आप देखोगे जो प्लांट है वो आपका सन की तरफ ही बेंड करने लग जाएगा. This is also respond to stimuli. Now, did you know the tip of the shoot of a plant moves towards light? Similarly, the roots of a plant always grow vertically downwards. It is the response of plants towards gravity which acts as a stimulus. So, तो आपको कोई भी आप प्लांट देखोगे उसका टिप जो होगा वो हमेशा सनलाइट की तरफ ही ग्रो करता है. सिमिलरली आपके जो टैप रूट्स होते हैं वो वर्टिकली ग्राउंड की तरफ जाते हैं क्योंकि ग्रेविटी होती है ग्राउंड में और उनका ये रिस्पॉन्ड होता है टुवर्ड्स द स्टिमुलाई, टुवर्ड्स द एनवायरमेंट. Then living beings reproduce. All living beings produce young ones of their own kind. Different organisms reproduce in different ways. Humans and animals such as cow, buffalo, dog, cat, etc. reproduce by giving birth to their young ones. Frogs, snakes, pigeons, hens, fish and birds reproduce by laying eggs. Plants also reproduce. Most plants reproduce through seeds. For example, a mango seed produces mango plant. Some other plants reproduce through their body parts such as buds, leaves or stems etc. तो human beings अपने young ones को पैदा करते हैं. कुछ birds आपके ऐसे होते हैं जो eggs को lay करते हैं, उनसे फिर उनके young ones hatch out होते हैं. And plants seeds से grow करते हैं. For example, mango seed से mango का tree grow करेगा. And then there are certain parts of the plants only जिनसे अलग अलग type के आपकी plants आगे की तरफ grow कर जाते हैं. Now there is an activity which is an experiment to grow plants from the stem cuttings. Take a cutting of rose or henna plant, give an oblique slanting cut while cutting the twig. Take a pot with soil and fix the cutting in it. Water the pot regularly. Make observations after a few days. You will find that a new plant starts developing from the cutting planted in the soil. अब एक रोज या henna का plant लीजिए, stem निकालिए उसका और slant टेढ़ा cut उस पे मारिए और एक potted plant में उसको plant कर दीजिए. रेगुलरली वाटर करिए, आप देखेंगे कि उसी से आपका एक नया plant grow करने लग जाएगा. Then living beings move. All living organisms move. The movement may occur in the whole body of the organism or only certain parts of it. Plants also move, but the movement in plants is different from that in the animals. Substances such as water, minerals, food and nutrients are required for the growth of plants. Stems transport these substances from one part of the plant to another, and some plants show some restricted movement such as opening and closing of a flower. Different animals move in their own way. For example, a fish swims, a bird flies and a tiger runs. तो अलग अलग टाइप के आपके एनिमल्स होते हैं, वो आपकी मूवमेंट शो करते हैं. ह्यूमन बींग्स तो करते ही हैं. एंड आपके बहुत अलग अलग टाइप के प्लांट्स भी होते हैं विच शोज मूवमेंट ऑफ सर्टेन काइंड्स. Then living beings have a definite lifespan. All living beings are born, grown into adults, get old and finally die. Thus, all living things have a life cycle of certain definite period. The duration of time for which a living organism lives is called its lifespan, and different living beings have different lifespans. All living beings possess these characteristics, whereas non-living things do not show such features. तो और similar characteristic living organisms में क्या होता है? They have a limited set of lifespan. जितने टाइम के लिए वो जीते हैं, द ड्यूरेशन इज नोन एज लाइफ स्पैन, तो वो भी स्पेसिफाइड होता है, बहुत अनलिमिटेड टाइम के लिए नहीं जी सकते हैं. Then habitats for organisms. So the surroundings where an organism lives is called its habitat. The habitat is a part of the total environment of the region. The organisms depend on their habitat for their food, shelter, air, water and other needs. Different organisms survive in different habitats. For example, a camel lives in a desert while a fish lives in water. Similarly, cactus grows in a dry and arid region while some grasses grow even on the floor of the sea. So, एक natural environment में कोई भी organism जब रहता है, it is simply known as the habitat of that particular species or organism, जहाँ पे उसको shelter, खाना, पानी, ये सब चीज़ें मिलती हैं. Then you have the main habitats are terrestrial or land habitats such as mountain, forest, desert and aquatic or water habitat that includes sea, lake, river, pond and swamps. The organisms such as humans, tiger, trees, etc. that live on land are said to live in terrestrial habitat, and the organisms such as fish, whales, squids, octopus, etc. that live and breed in water are said to live in the aquatic habitat. Plants and animals have different features that help them to survive in their own habitat. A habitat comprises again of biotic components and non or abiotic components. So you have two basic types of habitats. One is terrestrial यानी कि land habitat जिसमें आपके mountains, deserts ये सारी चीज़ें आ जाती हैं. Then you have aquatic habitat जिसमें आपके fishes, octopuses, whales, squids ये सब रहते हैं, which is your water habitat. इसमें भी आपका जो plants और animals होते हैं, they have different features. पूरे environment में आपके पास एक biotic components होते हैं and you have abiotic components. Number one is your biotic components. All living beings such as humans, animals, plants and microorganisms are called the biotic component or living components of the habitat. तो biotic में आपके सारे के सारे living components आ जाते हैं जिसमें आपके human beings, plants और animals होते हैं. And then abiotic components, all non-living things such as soil, water bodies, atmosphere and meteorological factors such as sunlight, temperature, rainfall, wind speed, etc. are called abiotic components or non-living components. Non-living components या abiotic component में आपके सारे meteorological factors, temperature, rainfall, sunlight, soil ये सब चीज़ें आ जाती हैं. Now, did you know there is a constant interaction between the biotic and abiotic component? For example, plants need air. water and sunlight to make their food. They also need soil to grow. Animals depend on plants directly or indirectly to get their food. Thus, both biotic and abiotic components are important for all living organisms. So, thus biotic factors depend on abiotic factors such as air, water and sunlight for life to sustain. So, even though biotic और abiotic components में आपके different types of चीज़ें होती हैं, but still इन दोनों में interdependence देखी जाती है. Now, adaptation in organisms. Life exists everywhere on the earth. Even in polar regions, there are the organisms survive in such extreme conditions, and it is the adaptation. Adaptation is the tendency of an organism to develop certain features which improve the chances of its survival in the habitat in which it lives. It takes thousands of years for a living being to adapt to its environment. In response to a particular environment, an organism brings about certain changes in the structure and function of its body and makes it well suited to the environment. For example, a camel is well adapted to the desert habitat and not to the water. Similarly, fish have gills that help them to live in water. तो adaptation का मतलब होता है human beings या जितने भी living organisms होते हैं उनमें एक tendency होती है जिस environment में वो जाते हैं to make it suitable for their survival, वो अलग अलग तरीके के adaptations कर लेते हैं, changes कर लेते हैं ताकि ज़्यादा movement भी ना करना पड़े और जितनी available चीज़ें हैं उन्हीं में वो अपना गुजारा यानी कि survival कर सकें. There is a quote, survival of the fittest, यानी कि जितना आप adapt करोगे अपने environment के हिसाब से उतना ही आप ढंग से survive कर पाओगे. Now, as a factopedia, aquatic plants have special tissues that help them to take in dissolved gas from the water. तो aquatic plants में बहुत एक special type का tissue होता है जो dissolved oxygen को water से absorb कर लेता है. Now, organisms adapt to different abiotic factors in different ways. There are some changes that can happen in any organism over a short period of time to help them adjust to some changes in their surroundings. For example, a person living in plains finds it difficult to live in mountains. Initially, he may feel difficulty in breathing or doing physical exercise, but he becomes normal within a couple of days. The small adjustments by the body to overcome small changes in the surrounding atmosphere for a short period of time are called acclimatization. While adaptations are a result of changes over thousands of years, acclimatization results in a short term. अब आपका organism adapt करते रहते हैं, adaptation को करने में आपका हजारों साल लग जाते हैं. It is not a short period type of phenomena. But on the other hand, acclimatization क्या होता है? For example, अगर आप plains में रह रहे हो, दिल्ली ऐसी जगह पे रह रहे हो और आपको suddenly पहाड़ों वाली जगह पे रहने के लिए बोल दिया जाए, तो initial days में आपको सांस लेने में दिक्कत हो सकती है. अब वहाँ पे क्योंकि inclined surfaces होते हैं तो चलने में दिक्कत हो सकती है. फिर आपको अलग अलग प्रॉब्लम्स आपको फेस करनी पड़ सकती हैं इनिशियली, बट एक महीने में या एक दो हफ्ते में आपको वहाँ की भी आदत लग जाएगी. तो दिस इज नॉट एग्जैक्टली अडैप्टेशन, ये बहुत शॉर्ट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम के लिए होता है. दैट इज व्हाई दिस इज नोन एज acclimatization. Now check yourself, fill in the blanks. You have certain questions that you have to answer on your own. Now you have different habitats. Following are some habitats and their abiotic factors and adaptations of animals to these habitats. For example, terrestrial habitats. Terrestrial habitats refers to the land where all the plants and animals survive. Some terrestrial habitats are deserts, mountain regions and grasslands. Let's begin with the deserts. The climate of deserts is dry and hot with very little vegetation. Most animals which survive in deserts are insects, birds, reptiles and smaller mammals. Small animals living in deserts remain inactive during the day and active during the night. This is just to prevent loss of water from their body. तो डेजर्ट बहुत ड्राई कंडीशंस होती हैं. यहाँ पे जो आपके एनिमल्स या प्लांट्स होंगे वो दिन के टाइम पे इनएक्टिव हो जाते हैं, रात में एक्टिव होते हैं ताकि दिन में ज़्यादा वाटर लॉस उनकी बॉडी से ना हो. Then small creatures living in the deserts have hard scales on their body which help in preventing the loss of water due to heat. These creatures are nocturnal. That is, they usually hide in the shadow during the daytime and come out during night. Camels are the only large animals in the hot deserts. A camel shows many adaptations which help it to live in the हॉट डेजर्ट. तो यहाँ पे आपके छोटे छोटे क्रीचर्स होते हैं, अगेन ये रात में एक्टिव हो जाते हैं. और ऐसे एनिमल्स जो दिन में आपके स्लीप मोड पे रहते हैं रात में एक्टिव हो जाते हैं, वी कॉल देम नॉक्टर्नल एनिमल्स. और कैमल्स आर द डेजर्ट एनिमल्स. हाईएस्ट सबसे बड़े मैमल्स यहाँ पे आपको देखने को मिलेंगे और इन्होंने भी अलग अलग टाइप के अडेप्टेशंस करे हैं टू सर्वाइव इन द डेजर्ट्स. The padded feet of a camel help it to walk easily on the sand. The hump on its back has stored food. or fat. This provides it with food when there is no food available in the desert. A camel has long eyelashes which prevent the sand from getting into its eyes. Its nostrils can close so it doesn't get sand up to its nose. अब आपको पता है कि उस डेजर्ट में बहुत मिट्टी वगैरह होती है, मिट्टी में सबसे ज़्यादा आपकी गर्मी, अगर सनलाइट होगी सबसे जल्दी वो गर्म हो जाता है। तो कैमल्स के आपको पैडेड फीट दिखेंगे, कोई चलने में दिक्कत नहीं होगी। नॉस्ट्रल्स बड़े होते हैं एंड दे कैन क्लोज देयर नॉस्ट्रल्स ताकि सैंड अंदर ना जा पाए। आई लैशेस बहुत बड़े बड़े होते हैं ताकि आंखों में धूल मिट्टी ना घुस पाए। हम्प जो आपको कैमल का देखने को मिलेगा उसी में उनका स्टोर्ड फैट होता है, पानी ये हम्प में अपना स्टोर कर लेते हैं ताकि दे कैन गो डेज विदाउट ड्रिंकिंग वाटर और हैविंग फूड। It can drink lots of water at one go and can go on for many days without drinking water, and the camel produces dry dung and very little urine in order to conserve water. Now, desert plants have very deep roots so that they can access water from great depths. Leaves of some desert plants are modified into spine-like structures. This helps in preventing water loss by the way of transpiration. Stems of some deserts plants are modified into leaf-like structures in which photosynthesis take place, and such stems are spongy and have a coating of wax over them. Such plants are called succulent plants, and the wax coating prevents evaporation, and spongy internal structure helps in storing lots of water. तो desert plants भी आपको बहुत ही fleshy, थिक दिखाई देंगे ताकि ट्रांसपिरेशन से ज़्यादा लॉस ऑफ वाटर भी ना हो और वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा वाटर को अपने अंदर बॉडी के अंदर स्टोर भी कर पाएँ। Then comes the mountain regions. The mountain habitat is very cold and in some areas snowfall takes place in winter. In the higher regions temperature falls down and animals here are adapted to live and survive in these cold regions. Animals in mountain habitat have thick coat of fur. This helps in keeping them warm during very cold winter. The mountain goats have strong hooves which help them in running along the mountain slopes. A yak has long hair to keep it warm. Snow leopards have thick fur on their body including feet and toe, and this protects its feet from the cold while walking on the snow. Mountain regions में बहुत ही ठंडा environment रहता है, इसीलिए यहाँ पे आपको जो animals देखने को मिलेंगे, यहाँ पे animals के fur बहुत ही मोटे मोटे होते हैं, thick fur होते हैं, इसके नीचे ही बहुत सारा fat accumulated होता है जिसकी वजह से इनको throughout the cold weather गर्माहट मिलती रहती है। Now, the trees of the mountains habitat are generally cone-shaped and have sloping branches. The leaves of such trees are needle-shaped. The needle shape of leaves helps in preventing accumulation of rainwater or snow on the leaves, and thus they are not damaged due to snow. अब आपको mountainous regions में बहुत tall और cone-shaped के needle-pointed leaves वाले trees दिखाई देंगे ताकि snow या बारिश का पानी इस पे इकट्ठा होकर leaf को damage ना करे। Then you have the grasslands. Many animals live in the grasslands and in forests. The climate of grasslands is warm and water is available in good amount, but because of heavy population, the competition for food and other resources is tough in the grasslands and forests. A lion is a fierce hunter and has a strong muscular body. The sharp claws of lion helps them in killing a prey animal to eat. These claws can be withdrawn inside their toes when they run, and thus a lion can walk without making a sound. The color of a lion is pale brown, which mixes with the color of dry grasses and rocks. Thus, the body color of lion helps it in hiding from its prey. Its eyes in front of the face allows it to have a correct idea about the location of its prey. तो grasslands में आपका forested area होता है, अब resources यहाँ पे आपको ज़्यादा देखने को मिलते नहीं हैं, तो यहाँ पे आपका competition amongst different animals बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है। For example, lion बहुत ज़्यादा cloven hooves होते हैं इनके, प्रे को ये बहुत आसानी से देख लेते हैं, भागते बहुत तेज़ी से हैं, जिससे इनको खाना मिलने में ज़्यादा दिक्कत होती नहीं है। Now, a tiger is a good hunter as a lion. The strips on the body of the tiger helps it to blend with its background and hide within the forests it lives in. It has sharp teeth and claws that help to catch and tear its prey. Its big padded paws are protected from any sharp object on the ground and also to move quietly. Again, tiger is also as good hunter as the lion. अब इनकी बॉडी पे स्ट्राइप्स होते हैं जो इनको अपने प्रेडेटर से बचने में हेल्प कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज ये कैमोफ्लाज हो जाते हैं अपने एनवायरनमेंट में। A deer is a fast runner. It can run very fast to save its life from a predator, an animal that makes smaller animals its prey. A deer has long ears with very good hearing ability. This helps it in hearing the steps of an approaching predator. The eyes of the deer are located at the side of its head. This position of the deer's eyes helps it in seeing a predator coming from behind. अब deer बहुत तेजी से भाग सकता है, smaller animal होता है, तो predators से बचने में इनकी लंबी लंबी टांगें इनको हेल्प कर जाती हैं। अब इनकी जो आईज होती हैं हेड के दोनों साइड पे होती हैं, एक लेफ्ट में एक राइट में, तो बहुत वाइड रेंज इनको मिल जाता है एंड देयर ईयर्स आर ऑल्सो रियली सेंसिटिव टू डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ साउंड्स, तो बहुत आसानी से ये दूर दूर तक की आवाज़ें भी सुन लेते हैं. Aquatic habitats. Aquatic habitat include ponds, rivers, lakes, oceans, seas and swamps. Rivers, lakes, ponds and streams form freshwater habitat, whereas the seas and oceans are marine habitats. Swamps are coastal habitats and different types of life forms flourish in these habitats. The adaptive features of aquatic animals are that their body is compressed laterally to reduce friction. This allows a swift passage in the water while swimming. Features like fins in fish and flippers in the whale help in swimming. Similarly, frogs and ducks have webbed feet for swimming. Swim bladder present in certain fish is filled with air and maintains buoyancy. तो आपके marine, आपके aquatic हैबिटेट में आपके ओशियंस, लेक्स, रिवर्स ये सब आ जाते हैं. लेक्स, रिवर्स जो होते हैं दे कॉन्स्टिट्यूट द फ्रेश वाटर हैबिटेट, और सीज और ओशियंस आपके मरीन एक्वेटिक हैबिटेट को फॉर्म करते हैं जो ज़्यादा आपका फ्रेश नहीं होता है. Now, animals like fish, squids, octopus, dolphins, whales, etc. live in sea or ocean. Most sea animals have streamlined bodies. Some sea animals such as squid and octopus do not have a streamlined body. However, when they swim in water, their body acquires a streamlined shape. They stay deeper in the ocean near the seabed. These animals have gills as the organs of respiration. Gills exchange gases dissolved in water. Animals like dolphins and whales do not have gills. They breathe in air through nostrils or blowholes, which are located on the upper part of their head. This allows them to breathe in air where they come near or to the surface of the water. They can stay in water for a long time without breathing, and dolphins have excellent hearing sense to protect themselves from predators. So अलग अलग animals, for example octopuses, squids, इनकी streamlined body तो नहीं होती है, but ये sea bed एकदम बिल्कुल नीचे गहराई पे ये रहते हैं, and जब ये move करते हैं तो इनकी body streamlined structure ले लेती है. Then dolphins, they have excellent sense of hearing ताकि अपने predator से ये बच पाएं. Then frogs usually have ponds as their habitat. Frogs can stay both inside the water as well as on the land. Their webbed feet help them to swim in water. The long and strong hind legs of a frog help it in hopping on the ground. Its long sticky tongue helps to catch prey. Most frogs have large eyes placed to let them see to the sides and behind without moving. They also have excellent night vision. Then you have frogs, webbed feet इनके होते हैं, excellent sense of sight and hearing also. The aquatic plants are of different types. Some of the aquatic plants have their roots fixed into the soil under the water. Some aquatic plants float on water, whereas some other aquatic plants are completely submerged in water. The stems of aquatic plants are long, hollow and light. Now you have aquatic plants, कुछ ऐसे होते हैं जो पूरी तरीके से submerged रहते हैं water में, कुछ के सिर्फ roots submerged होते हैं, and then certain plants वो सीधे float करते हैं. The stems grow up to the surface of water. The leaves and flowers float on the surface of water. Some adaptive features shown by aquatic plants are listed below. In aquatic plants, roots are much reduced in size and their main function is to hold the plant in its place. The stems may be reduced or long, slender, flexible and spongy. The air spaces in spongy stems help them to float on water. Thin and large flat leaves with the waxy surface as in lotus and water lily. This protects leaves from wetting and decaying. The leaves of submerged plants are thin and ribbon-like. Such leaves can bend in flowing water. In some submerged plants, leaves are highly fragmented or divided. Such leaves allow the water to flow through them without any damage. So plants भी अलग-अलग तरीके का adaptations करते हैं. For example, आपके जो water में आपको plants देखने को मिलेंगे, they are usually spongy. थोड़े बहुत आपके plants ऐसे भी होते हैं जो बहुत thick होते हैं ताकि water के साथ-साथ flow away ना हो जाए. And then there are certain plants, वाटर प्लांट्स जो बहुत ही लाइट होते हैं ताकि जिस डायरेक्शन में वाटर फ्लो कर रहा है उसी डायरेक्शन में आसानी से मूव भी कर पाएं. Now there's an activity to identify the living things found in different habitats. Find out and write the names of any 2 plants and animals living in a pond, a forest, a desert and on a mountain. तो आपको इन चारों की चारों जो जगह है इसमें से आपको 2 एनिमल्स और 2 प्लांट्स निकालने हैं जो इन हैबिटेट्स में रहते हैं. Now the glimpse of chapter. Photosynthesis, the process by which plants make their food from carbon dioxide in the air and water in the presence of sunlight. Cells, the process of producing energy from the food due to its reaction with oxygen. Stomata, small pores on the undersurface of the leaves by which plants respire through. Excretion, the process of throwing out the waste material from the body. Latex, a white sticky thick liquid excreted from the rubber plant. Gum, a brown sticky substance secreted from the acacia tree. Stimulus, something that causes a reaction or a response in an organ or a cell. Lifespan, the period during which an organism completes its life cycle. Habitat, the surroundings where an animal lives. Biotic components, living constituents of the habitat. Abiotic components, non-living constituents of the habitat. Adaptation, features developed in an organism to survive in a particular habitat. Acclimatization, the process in which an individual organism adjusts to a gradual change in its environment. And nocturnal, animals that get active at night. Now the summary: all living beings grow, have a definite lifespan, respond to stimuli, respire, reproduce and excrete. Living beings show a wide variation in their size, shape, food habits and in their place of living. A place where an organism lives, it's called its habitat. The two components of habitat are biotic components and abiotic components. Biotic components include all living organisms, whereas abiotic components include all non-living things. The tendency of an organism to develop certain features which improve the chances of its survival in the environment in which it lives is termed as adaptation. In dry and hot climate of deserts, the absence of sweat glands and concentration of urine are some physical adaptations which help to survive the desert animals. Trees which grow in mountains regions are cone-shaped, having needle-like leaves and sloping branches. Animals living in mountain regions are white or light-colored. They have thick wool and fleece on their body. Aquatic animals have a streamlined body. They take up oxygen from water with the help of gills. Aquatic plants have adaptation for buoyancy and against decaying in water. So how does human beings, animals, plants टेरेस्ट्रियल हैबिटेट में, एक्वेटिक हैबिटेट में किस तरीके से रहते हैं, मॉडिफिकेशन किस तरीके से करते हैं अपने एनवायरनमेंट के हिसाब से, दैट्स व्हाट वी हैव स्टडीड इन दिस चैप्टर. विद दैट वी आर डन विद दिस चैप्टर. प्लीज गो थ्रू द चैप्टर thoroughly and the exercise questions. Please do it yourselves.